Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you around our Reports tab. In the Reports tab we try to chop up data in a few different ways and with varying levels of detail so that you can look at a snapshot of how your students are doing or go more in depth and look at each student's progress through the articles and their achievement. In the Assignments tab, which is the first one we're going to look at, you get a snapshot of each assigned article that you've given your class. On the far left-hand side, we tell you how students did on the article in general. So this is grouped into three different categories. You have green, yellow, and red. Green means that the students scored better than 90% on the assessment. Yellow means they scored between 70 and 89%, and if they are in the red column, red means they scored less than 69% on the article. And if you click on any of these, you can actually look at what students took the assessment and scored at those levels. We also try to tell you who's retried the quiz. In some cases, it may be the class culture that kids retake quizzes often, or maybe you don't want them to retake quizzes. So you'll also see 34% retried on this article. So if there are students that are retaking quizzes or all students are retaking quizzes, this will give you an idea of how many students do that and for what articles. At the very bottom of the article, so how do I look, for example, there's a little green and gray bar. And this green and gray bar intends to give you an idea of how many students have completed the article. So in the one we're looking at right here, it's a little bit more than halfway. 4 out of 7 students have completed the article. So that gives you an idea if you're flipping your classroom and students are doing this at home. You wake up in the morning, you check this progress bar, hopefully it's at 100%, but it'll give you an idea of how many students actually completed the assignment. So this only progresses when students read and then take the quiz. If they're just reading and not taking the quiz, you're not going to see them progress on this bar. And then the average right here, so 46% for this article, the average is intended to give you an idea of how students did on their last take of the assessment. So they read an article, they take a quiz, and this percent right here is their final score. So if they've retaken this 10 times and gotten 100%, then you'll see 100% here if the whole class has that. But if they took it for the first time and only scored 50% or something like that, and retook it to get a higher score, you're not going to see that 50% averaged in here. This is the final scores as they are right now. We can also chop it up and look at each different class, and only one of these classes has data, and so I want to show you what that looks like. So for our demo period 1 here, we're looking at how many students are in the class, the average quiz score for the entire period, and then their next assignment, so whatever I'm about to have them complete, and the due date of that next assignment. We also see a pie chart of student reading levels. Now the goal here is that you get an idea of data on how your students are doing. If you have a formal evaluation, your administrator is looking to see you using data to inform your practice, you can take a snapshot of this and use it as evidence to show how you are, or reasons why, justifications for why you're using certain practices in your classroom. We can also look at it by students. So the Students sub-tab breaks down your student scores and how students are doing. So we can click on an individual student like Bob Dylan here. We can take a look at the whole loaf, so everything that Bob has been doing, or look at all the little breadcrumbs. And so that's specific articles and his score on each of those articles, as well as a unit average. So if you're doing standards-based grading, or you're looking to review with your students and you want to see, okay, who had a unit average below 50%, we could actually group students based on different units. So maybe this group reviews genetics, this group reviews evolution, etc. We also have the all familiar gradebook format. So if you are doing standards-based grading in your class, you can use this to see how students did on the assessment. There are a couple different things that you can look at here. So first off, we have a list of students on the left, and then we have a list of our articles that we assigned, and obviously their scores beneath that. Now at the top, underneath the period name, so this is demo period 1, I'm looking at multiple choice scores right now. Now I can also look at multiple choice scores first try. So if I click on that, I get to see their first score that they received on the assessment. So as I said earlier, if they took the quiz 5 times and scored much better on the 5th time, but did poorly on the first try, you would be able to see that with this. Or we can look at multiple choice scores, and that shows how they did on their most recent quiz. And we highlight in green, so the score improved upon reentry. We highlight in green which scores were improved when the students retook it. So those are the basics of our reports. I hope this was helpful. Have a nice day.